Ahoy! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with a quick video just to discuss the state of mobile gaming. Now, for any of you who are familiar with my channel, you will know that I am a major advocate for mobile gaming. It is something that I believe is not only the future of gaming, but is already the present. I wanted to just discuss a few of the recent goings-on and what this all means for mobile gaming. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Disrespect, a prominent Twitch streamer known mainly for Battle Royale games, and his rather caustic internet personality, tweeted that mobile gamers aren't real gamers. Now, I wanted to discuss this viewpoint, not just in relation to the good doctor, this tweet is the inspiration, not the crux of the discussion, but as an overall address to the state of opinion on mobile gaming. There's a lot to cover here, so I'm going to jump straight in. Now, I am immediately dismissing all claims that this tweet is meant as a joke and is just part of Disrespect's character. His intent is irrelevant. The outcome of it is what matters. Now, we mobile gamers are used to being considered inferior in the gaming community at large, and it's not uncommon for people to hold this viewpoint. To understand, just look at when a franchise is announced as coming to mobile. When Command & Conquer Rivals was first announced, the collective Command & Conquer fanbase reacted in the way that any reader here will automatically recognise. There were boycotts, the hashtag #NotMyCNC was trending on Twitter. Diablo Immortal was met with booing and the question,
"Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?"
followed with the infamous,
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
The list goes on with the Elder Scrolls Blade, EVE Online Echoes, Call of Duty Mobile, etc. And why is this? Well, there's a misconception that mobile games are cheap to produce, simplistic, stripped down games that you win by opening your wallet. Now, certainly there are plenty of examples of just this on mobile, but tellingly, these types of games also exist on platforms like Steam. Gamers are used to seeing endless adverts for the latest Candy Crush ripoff, of reading articles about how the latest offering was ruined by payment models. In short, gamers hear all of the bad news. It's what gets clicks. Gamers have a strong misconception that mobile gaming is all about low-quality, pay-to-win games. They don't see the good stuff in mobile gaming because it's not reported. As an example, Vainglory, Armorjet, PUBG Mobile, all are games that are free to download and play, and any purchase you make in those games will have no impact on whether or not you win. You can buy a weapon skin in Armorjet, but the gun does the very same damage. Purchasing a new character skin in Vainglory may look awesome, but your hero's abilities are unchanged. In PUBG Mobile, you get both options. If I spend $10 or $10,000 on any of these games, I have no advantage over any other player. If they're more skilled, they'll beat me. Tellingly, this system is also used in many PC and console games, including PUBG, League of Legends, Apex Legends, even Fortnite. Even games like CNC Rivals or Brawl Stars, where you can spend real money to increase the power of your heroes, tend to have limiters. Matchmaking can be tweaked to ensure that you get matched with people who have spent a similar amount to you, or you have caps on how much of the power you've purchased can apply in certain situations. Tournament play in both cases is capped and equalised for all players to ensure a fair competition. Now, the question is, why do these monetization systems have to exist in mobile gaming in the first place? Well, that ultimately comes down to us as consumers. Look at your phone. Look at the apps. How many of these did you pay up front for? If I showed you a mobile app that cost $20, would you grab it? Be honest. No, you wouldn't. Nobody does. Will gladly drop $80 on a new PC or console game, but won't even entertain the notion of doing that for mobile. Even $5 is off-putting. You can argue that this is due to the market being saturated with cheap clones due to lack of regulation. You can argue that this is due to mobile games having this negative stigma around them in the first place, but whatever the actual case is, again, is irrelevant to this discussion. The point is, almost nobody will pay up front for a mobile app. I think we can all agree that developers should be paid for their hard work, and if we, as consumers, are unwilling to pay up front for a product, well, the money's got to come from somewhere, right? So what about adverts? Well, putting aside the fact that adverts are universally hated by everyone, and many people will uninstall apps that use them immediately, they also generate next to nothing in way of income without a humongous audience. And you'll never get an audience that big because ads are universally hated and many people will uninstall apps that use them. So what about demos, where you get a free section of the game followed by payment to unlock the rest of the game? I love this idea. It reminds me of the days when demo discs used to be attached to the front of gaming magazines. Unfortunately, it has again been shown not to work. Players reach the end of the demo section and just uninstall. Speaking anecdotally, maybe this is due to a fear of, well, what if all the crap stuff's hidden after the demo? I don't know the reasons, we just know that it doesn't work. A key example of this is the Super Mario Run game, where people absolutely lost their minds when they did the first couple of levels and then were asked by Nintendo, a company known for releasing quality games, to spend a simple, I think it was $5 to unlock the rest of the game, and people just lost it. They went berserk. So back to cosmetic only then. Well, yes, this is a great system, and I adore it when games do this. It becomes almost like a donate what you want system. Sadly, it's not always possible. Cosmetics are something that only appeal to a certain group of players, and very few people buy many of them. If you work out that you want the average player to spend, say, $20 on your game, and factor in that only a tiny percentage of players will find something that they want, and because many people will be happy without the cosmetics, then these ultimately end up becoming a luxury item. In many of these games, a single skin can set you back anywhere between $8 and $30. They're expensive because they're niche, and being niche means it can be hard to cut a profit with it. I know people always have a problem with this example, but it is a similar situation as to why a Porsche or a Ferrari or a Bugatti or a Lamborghini is so much more expensive than comparatively to like your standard Volvo or Renault. Yes, I know that the Ferrari goes faster, but a lot of it is purely due to the name. You are paying a lot more money for not all that much extra car. Ergo, we come back to the idea that games are pay to win. I'm mostly familiar with CNC Rivals, so I'll base this discussion on the setup there. In Rivals, every unit can be trained to a maximum level of 15, and to do this you need a certain amount of cards and credits. You can earn all of this just by playing the game, of course, but if you want your units to be stronger, faster, you can spend real money to do so. If my entire army is level 12 units and yours is only level 9, then yes, I do have an advantage. Now the trick here is making both routes viable. At the end of every season we all get a reset in Rivals and we slide down the leagues. Most of the time I'll start in Diamond League, which has a level cap of 11. This means that any of my units that are level 12 or higher are capped at level 11, reducing my paid advantage. The lower leagues have caps as low as 6, so anyone who spends all the way to level 12 out the gate won't actually get the full benefit of that until they reach, in this case, Masters League, where the cap is 13. On top of this, the game is then designed so that a difference of 1 level is not sufficient to break the game. Level 9 missile squads will still beat level 11 tanks, for example. Finally, even after all of this, if you're matched against an opponent who has significantly higher levels than you, or units that you haven't got access to yet, the game calls this a challenge match, and says you suffer nothing on defeat, but you gain a special bonus if you can win. Now the idea is that the game offers you the choice of playing frequently and grinding to advance, or you can drop a little money here and there in order to speed up the process. In both cases, tournament play puts all competitors on completely equal levels, so we don't have to worry about that. Now the point I'm making ultimately is that as consumers, our unwillingness to part with money has created a marketplace where we are offered the experience for free, but are teased to spend as we go. Now arguably, curious thought here, these systems could be considered more consumer friendly than pay up front. My reasoning, hear me out, don't just jump to the comments and crucify me. Hear me out. If I want a new PC or PS4 game and it costs $80, I need to spend $80 or I don't get the game. I can't offer to spend only $60, nor can I experience the game whilst I save my money up in order to purchase it. Neither, conversely, can I pay more than $80 if I believe that the developers deserve it. This last point may sound insane, but at $20 I genuinely feel like I robbed Team Cherry for Hollow Knight. On the other hand, had I spent the full $80 up front on something like Fallout 76, then I would feel robbed that I've spent so much money on something that then was disappointing. With the freemium model, I can play the game for free. I then get to decide what the game is worth to me personally. I can enjoy a game and decide that I'm happy to spend $50 on it. I might get a few hours here and there in another game and feel that it's only really worth, say, $10 for me. The point is that the choice is ultimately my own as to how much I wish to spend. If I feel that a game is asking me for too much money and is pushing me too hard for not paying, I can just uninstall it like I did with originally Elder Scrolls Blades. In this instance, I did not value the game. That's a powerful position as a consumer. I get to set the value of the game, I get to pay what I feel is right, and if I do not like the game, I can just get rid of it without having paid a cent. Mobile gaming is therefore not quite the minefield of pay to win that it may at first be perceived to be. But what about quality? Well, here again, I direct your attention to both Vainglory and to Armajet. Now, yes, both of these are PC mobile crossovers, meaning they're available on both platforms, and they look amazing on both. Vainglory still amazes me at how stunning it looks as a mobile game. To me, it actually looks better than League of Legends or Dota 2. The gameplay is every bit as deep and skill-based, arguably as good as both of those games, and if, like me, you have a device like a Razer Phone 2 that can support it, I can run up to 120 FPS on these things. Quality is definitely not a concern with mobile anymore. My Razer Phone 2 is more powerful than many lower-end gaming PCs, to the point that all of my content is recorded and edited on this device, and even the laptop I used for work can't do that. This device is now easily on par with the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 and is probably even pushing into PlayStation 4, Xbox One territory. You see, this is why I am so excited for games like Eve Echoes and, yes, Diablo Immortal. These games can be just as high in quality as their PC and console counterparts, but they're portable. I can play them whilst I travel. I can play them for free and then decide how much I want to pay for them. And yes, we all have phones. The thing is, mobile gaming is just as good as PC and console, and it's on a major rise at the moment. As of 2018, mobile gaming made more money than PC and every console combined, and its rate of growth is massive. As you can see from the charts I'm showing on screen now, console and PC gaming are still growing markets, but that growth is slowing down. Mobile gaming, conversely, is increasing rapidly, purely because we all have phones. To answer that BlizzCon question, yes, we all have phones. We all carry this little teensy computer with us everywhere, and that computer is catching up in power to the ones that sit on our desks at home. Mobile, it's here, and it is here to stay. Now, this brings us back around to Dr. Disrespect and his tweet. Mobile gamers aren't real gamers, says the Doctor. Why? Why are they not real gamers? They're playing games of the same quality. Their market is now actually outperforming the supposed real gamer market. What metric are we measuring gamers by here? Now, stupidly, this just smacks of that same attitude that gamers collectively used to grimace under. As an entire collective group, gamers have been told numerous times throughout history that we're niche and we're irrelevant. Games development isn't a real job. Esports aren't real sports. Mobile gamers aren't real gamers. Can you spot the difference? Because I sure as hell can't in any of those statements. This seems absurd coming from Dr. Disrespect. This man was a games developer, famous for working on the Call of Duty series. He was actually a multiplayer map designer, so not only was he employed as a games developer, he was arguably involved in esports then. Now, he's a streamer playing games like Fortnite that are esports, and that's his job. He's beaten that system. That whole games development isn't a real job. He did it and proved it. Esports aren't real sports. He helped develop esports. It seems rather hypocritical to grow up in a world where you're told that games development isn't a real job, that esports aren't real sports, and end up working and supporting both of these, only to then turn around and apply that same ridiculous negativity downstream to a different group. You'd think that someone who struggled under this kind of negativity might be a bit more positive about the latest rising trend in gaming, you know? Well, that's the thing. Apparently, negativity sells. In case the name Dr. Disrespect wasn't already a clear giveaway, this is how he makes his money, and frankly, it's something I'm done with in gaming. I cannot wait for the day that positivity becomes cool and toxic negativity finally becomes unpopular, but that's ultimately a different topic for a different post. For short, just suffice it to say that yes, I have negative opinions on games, of course I do, but I prefer to focus on the positives where possible. I'll discuss the negatives in a forward-thinking way. You get some people like Ben Yahtzee Croshaw from Zero Punctuation. I love those videos, but let's be honest, we watch them because we love to see how outraged the guy is. You look at Jim Sterling, a clearly intelligent man who has some very good points when it comes to gaming, when it comes to loot boxes, when it comes to other things that are sneaking into our video games. But it's hard to take those points seriously when the guy is basically a religious zealot preaching outrage as his doctrine. And I will never be that. That is one thing I have made very clear early on as soon as I started with YouTube. You have my guarantee that I will never be that. So why am I so upset about Dr. Disrespect's post? Well, putting aside the callous irony of fighting against the naysayers only to become one himself to the next generation, because mobile gaming has this stigma. Many of us fight daily to overcome this stigma, to push forward how awesome mobile gaming can be, only for some faux controversial bathroom filming streamer to ignite his entire community against it. Whether or not the doctor himself was joking, and my personal opinion is that this and the E3 bathroom stunt were both incredibly misguided attempts at gathering attention to a streamer facing less and less relevancy, well, the fact remains that his comments are harmful to a community already struggling to shrug off the cloak of misconceptions draped around it. Fortunately, the tweet itself very swiftly became a list of who to follow for those with an interest in mobile gaming, with organisations like Fnatic and Hot Jukes, along with many voices from the community stepping up to call him out and educate gamers the world over. It's also just a great thread if you're looking for new mobile games to play, as there are so many fantastic recommendations down there. Now, whatever your opinions are, it's clear that mobile gaming is here to stay and pushing to be the future of gaming. There are hundreds of quality games rising, with some of the largest esports in the world now being mobile games. If you're interested in this, check out the numbers that Honor of Kings pulls. Clash Royale is about to go into its most incredible season ever. PUBG Mobile is offering over $2 million in prize pools, and more are popping up daily. We just had Auto Chess announce a $1 million prize pool for a game that has literally only been out a month and is mobile exclusive. These are just the ones off the top of my head. I'm sure there are many more that I'm missing here. Now, in short, you can either try it yourself and ride this wave to glory, be part of this shining new mobile future, or, like the good doctor, you can languish in the irrelevance of the past. Well, that just about wraps up my thoughts on the current state of mobile gaming. A certain someone did refer to me once as a priest of mobile gaming, stepping forth into the masses to preach the good word, I suppose. And a preacher is nothing without his congregation. As such, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below or on the Gaming Galleon Discord, link on screen and in description below. I would love to know what you guys think about mobile gaming. Which game was it that got you hooked to the platform? What is it that's keeping you from jumping into the platform? Let me know, talk to me. I'd be happy to recommend some games, or of course check out the rest of this channel for some awesome recommendations. Recommending mobile games is literally what I do. Now, beyond that, in addition to a preacher being nothing without his congregation, a captain is nothing without his crew. So I want to give a humongous shout out to my Patreons. Without you guys, this channel would not be where it is. So thank you so much for your pledges and your donations. It's thanks to you that this channel is still going. If you want to support this channel, there are two ways you can do so. You can join my absolutely epic crew over on Patreon for as little as $1. I do offer some basic perks with that. Alternatively, if you don't want to donate anything, that's fine. Please just let the ads play out, as ultimately YouTube ad revenue works on how long you play those ads for. If those ads go for the full duration, it does help support this channel that little bit more and helps me keep making awesome content. But there we are, I have rambled on entirely too long. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and speaking with you more on the matter, but otherwise, happy sailing and see you all soon.